Okay.
What about like carnal behavior? So they take their clothes off and they run around the boat. That's
Of course they do.
Yeah,
That's why they're on the boat.
Yeah. Hear no evil, see no evil when it comes to
I'm not going to
that.
spend $30,000 to rent a boat. The clothes are coming off. Let's go. You're not even getting on the boat with clothes. Let's go.
I don't know if I want to see you with your clothes off running around my boat.
Not me.
Ahoy! This is your captain speaking, Greg Michael of Pinnacle Marine Group, Marine Surveyors, and welcome aboard the Nauti Buoys Boat Show. I'm joined by Captain Happy, Glenn Shadbolt, Marine Mechanic and Shipwright. And aboard this vessel, we talk everything about boats. The build, the mechanics, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We go where the seas take us. The topics will be endless. Electronics, marinas, restaurants, vacations, cruising and fishing. Our show includes live callers with real questions. Let's fare these waters together. Call 772-773-2600 every Tuesday between 5 and 5:30 p.m. Eastern. If you're a guest or a caller, you certainly are naughty. Ahoy, and welcome to the Nauti Buoys Boat Show. I'm your host, Captain Greg Michael, Marine Surveyor, and sitting next to me is our beloved Captain Happy, Glenn Shadbolt. He's a marine mechanic and shipwright. Say hi, Glenn.
Hi, Glenn.
Yeah, okay. All right. So today we have a great guest, Captain Sebastian Matacena. He's a private yacht captain out of Miami, Florida. Say hi to everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Just in a minute, we're going to have a great conversation with the captain. But as usual on this show, I love to open with a joke. So you want to hear my joke, Glenn?
Is the joke on me or you?
The joke. I didn't write it, so if you don't like it, don't worry about it. But here's a joke. Ready? A guy walks into a bar, sits down, and says to the bartender, "I can finally relax. I can have a drink. My wife sailed off to the Caribbean this morning." The bartender said, "Jamaica?" The guy said, "No, she wanted to." Jamaica.
So do you put the lime in the coconut or what? How's that all work out down there?
Yeah, I thought it was a good joke.
Yeah, who
It was
writes this?
Cute, right? Yeah. We can't get too dirty on Nauti Buoys, can we? But we're gonna talk about some of these yachty stories, so maybe we're gonna get a little dirty, right?
Yeah, we'll see.
So let's get right into it. Captain Sebastian, so you've been on these private yachts, you work on these private yachts. I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there. They probably want to follow in the same footsteps, right? They want to be a captain. How does that even happen?
For me, I got lucky. I started out life like you as a marine mechanic, and I was working on a guy's tender. That's a little boat they put on top of the big boat, and I did his service 2 years in a row. And then after that, he was like, "Hey, I like your personality. Do you want to be my mate and go with me to Newport?" And I was like, "All right, well, what are you paying?" He told me the salary. Sounded really good. And so I went to Newport and worked as a mate and worked my way up. Ended up as a first officer on a 160-foot Trinity. And then from there, got my captain's license after about 7 years of being a mate. And then jumped onto a 72-foot Mayora that a captain was getting off of. And another captain friend of mine said, "Hey, you want to go become a captain? I know you got your license." And I was like, "Yeah, let's go." So I got to the boat. I didn't know what I was doing. Had to call that same captain friend of mine and have him come down and show me how to run the boat, and learn from there pretty much hands-on.
Okay, so you get your license. What license do you hold?
Right now I have a 200-ton U.S. Coast Guard and a 500-ton international.
Okay, so here's the thing. You get your license, but that doesn't tell you how to pilot these boats.
No, the license is just basic rules of the road, navigation, telling you the Coast Guard rules and procedures, and then there's safety training and stuff like that involved.
So a 100+ foot boat, how do you learn how to drive this thing?
So you need 720 days of sea time just to get your first license at your basic 100-ton. And you're supposed to be hands-on experience, so you're learning as you're going. Yachting's a little harder. Like, say if you're in commercial, that's a lot more. I say yachting side is 20% captain and 80% management, And then the commercial side is like 20% management and 80% captain. So if you go in the commercial route, you get a lot more experience, handling boats and doing stuff like that. The yachting side is more about washing, cleaning, and, so you don't get as much experience, moving the boat a lot. And it depends on the captain that you have. Right. If the captain's willing to teach you and help you and get you some wheel time and then help you dock, and if you have an extra crew member on board that can handle lines while the captain kind of teaches you how to maneuver the boat. And then a lot of people get experience from, they'll tow a tender, a 30 or 40 foot boat behind the big boat. And then, the mate usually has to get on the tender and drive the tender. So you get experience that way as well. But it's, you need to, get OJT as much as possible.
Yeah. So I have my captain's license as well. I got a 100-ton, and I've been on some big boats. I've piloted some really big boats. I've done my thing. But what I always notice is this. You need the time. You got to get out there and actually do it, right? So, and every boat's different. Mm-hmm. You could be on a 50-foot boat or a 100-foot boat. Everything's different. So, captaining a boat, you got... I think like you started, you're a mate, you get your time in, somebody teaches you something. So you need a mentor, right? Yeah. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, exactly. But you got to get your foot in the door, right? So, it's there's always something to be said for somebody that's willing to grind. You're willing to go there, you're willing to do whatever, first, so I got the first yacht I ever worked on, and the guy that got me out of the industry, out of the mechanic side and took me to the boat, he goes, "Well, Sebastian, the boat's in the yard right now. We're going to do 2 more weeks in the yard before we leave. I want you to come on the boat. You just got to be willing to do whatever, right?" So I'm like, "Yeah, let's go."
You have to learn the boat.
Yeah.
Each boat's different. There's switches and it's...
Yeah, there's all kinds of different systems and everything else. But my first job, welcome to yachting. He goes, "Okay, we're going to change all the Blackwater hoses on the boat right out the gate. That's all the where all the toilets are. That's all the lines that go from the toilet to the tank." Right. So that's my first job. Welcome to yachting. We're taking all these Blackwater hoses out and then throwing them over the side. Great. So a willingness to learn, a willingness to work, and and show that you have commitment to the boat, and and you'll progress.
Right. So you really did the shitty job the first time.
Yeah, first welcome out to naughty job.
I just came up with my first tip of the day. I was going to do a different one, but you want my tip of the day now?
No, we'll save it.
I'll save it. I got to remember it, but yeah, many years.
Awesome. So you and I talked before the show, and you were starting to tell me you built boats.
Well, yeah, my dad was a boat builder, so I've been around marine stuff my entire life. My dad had a boat building company in the early 80s.
What did he build?
He built a 28-foot center console. It was way ahead of its time. The 28-foot center console with I don't know if any of your guests know, with a single 175 on the back of the boat would do like 55 miles an hour in the water.
Wow. Did he come up with the whole thing, or did he splash it and change it?
No, he designed the boat. He got the basic idea from another mold, and then that didn't work. So he kept some of the lines of it and then cut the bottom off, redid the bottom completely with his own design, and came up with a really efficient yet a good riding hull, which is usually unheard of when you're talking about hydrodynamic hulls. Either they're very inefficient and comfortable with a deep V, or they're flat bottomed and they're super efficient, but they beat you to death. Right. So he found a way to make both of those worlds happen.
An early semi-V or whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot to it that I'd like to keep close to chest. So
could you tell us the name of the boat?
It was called a Sebrich craft, Sebrich.
Okay.
Did it look like a Rambo?
It looked like, people say it looked like a Panga because of the bow, the way the bow came up, but the bottom's completely different than a Panga. So the way the bow rise, people think it looks like a Panga, but it's not. So my dad had designed plans for a 38-foot center console designed to run on twin 200 OMC C drives, if you remember those. And so what we did was it sat on the shelf for 30 years because the company went under with a bunch of other stuff in the early 80s. And I said, "You know what, Pop? You're 80 years old. You're 80 years old now. Let's build this boat." So we built the mold, built the boat, and everything in my backyard, and we ended up building a 37 from scratch. I tested it on twin 150 Yamaha 4-strokes. The 37 did 52.6 miles an hour. It planed off at 15 miles an hour at a flat wake behind the boat. I got 3.8 miles per gallon at 38 miles an hour.
Wow.
3.4.
One
sorry.
hell of a pad on the back there.
Yeah. And I can jump the boat in a foot and a half. I can pick up a 150 on a 23 pitch prop and run 30 and get on plane. It's just, all around. I've run the boat in 6 foot seas. No problem. I've run it in 12s coming off of waves, down into the waves, no green water over the bow. Like it's just an all-around really well boat.
So what I'm thinking is with those kind of specs and what you're talking about and the speed and the efficiency, hey, listen, any boat manufacturer out there that wants Sebastian's help in your design, it sounds like he's got a secret. So, yeah.
I mean, I'd be open to it. We were going to go into production. That was my prototype that I built just to make sure it worked. And, life happens and some things got in the way. And,
you got married and kids.
Yeah. So, the money that I was going to use to go into boat development just wasn't there anymore. So,
right. Yeah. So, again, I like to say any boat manufacturer, call Nauti Buoys. We'll put you in touch with Sebastian. If his design is what he says, man, whew, that's a home run.
Well, the way we figured it is we do a 39 with twin 300s, and the boat will do about 65 miles an hour.
Wow.
And you'll still get like 2.2 miles per gallon.
Yeah, that's impressive. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really impressive. Okay, enough about that. Let's get into some stories, right? So everybody wants to hear these captain stories. So let's just do this. We watched this show called Below Deck, right? Right. And I sit there, me being a captain and you being a captain. So I sit there and I look at this show and I go, never, not in a million years would this stuff happen. So I'm not gonna say it. I want you to explain to the audience. Talk to me. So you're the captain on that boat on Below Deck on TV.
Yeah, everybody's fired.
Everybody. Yeah. So there's no sex. There's no.
No. Well, so any captain can run their boat how they want to run their boat. You know what I mean? I'm not here to knock any other captain how they do it. As for me, if I didn't hire you as a couple, you're not going to become a couple, on the boat. Right. We don't know how, we're in a very close and tight environment. We don't know how a relationship's going to react on a boat when we're working 14, 16-hour days, with guests on board, going from spot to spot, high stress environment. And, you're starting a new relationship in this, So for me, it's a fireable offense. Right. I don't play well with that. If I hired you as a team and you guys already know that you have a stable relationship, great. Boys are stupid and girls are crazy. So,
yeah.
And the people that own these boats are very.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of it, but
they're particular.
Not going to put up with any bullshit.
No, they're particular. They want
particular. Yes.
Look, this is a high value, high dollar toy, basically. And the people that own these boats don't get to use them every day of the year. Right. So they have high stressful lives and careers that they're focused on, and the yacht is an escape for them. Right. They get probably maybe some owners only get 2 to 6 weeks a year to be able to use their boat just because their life is so busy. Mm-hmm. So when they come on the boat, they want a seamless, nice, stress-free. They don't want to see all the inner workings of the crew and all this drama that goes on behind the scenes.
They're paying payroll for 3-4 people plus the yard bills. I mean,
right.
How many hundreds of $1,000s for a 90-something foot boat? What do you think the total comes out to?
Well, the way that we make this go is we set the budget by it's 10% of the original price of the boat, right?
Wow.
So whatever the price was new is 10% of that, and then but if you have an older boat that was $6 million and they're $9 million now, it's now whatever that new what new would be now. You know what I mean? Because inflation goes.
It's $1 million a year to maintain that boat.
It's look, a 90-foot boat is $10 million. Yeah. Right. I mean, or a 100-foot boat is $10 million. Easy. Right. So you're, and that's excluding food, fuel, and booze.
Right.
That's just crew, dockage, insurance, basic maintenance,
Right.
And that's how it works.
Yeah.
We try to be mindful of the budget, obviously. We try to watch what we spend and how we spend it. And, there's ways that we can save money. But at the end of the day, if you want the boat maintained to the highest standards, it costs money.
Costs money. So, how does he recoup that? Chartering?
Good luck.
Then you're gonna have a bunch of people trashing your boat.
Well, you gotta look at it too as a curvature, right? You've got X and Y on the plane, right? And value of the boat's coming down as you use it more, and you're trying to create revenue. Right. You're gonna crisscross there at some point where it no longer makes sense. We say that chartering offsets cost. I say that chartering offsets some cost. We're getting into the point now where there's you just don't recoup it. It's good for the boat and good for the crew in some ways. If you don't use the boat at all, it's good for the boat and the crew to go out and get exercise. So why not make some money off of that while we're running systems? Because just leaving the boat sitting at the dock, not getting exercise at all, doesn't help. Right? It's bad for the boat. But at the same time, over usage of the boat is bad for the boat too, and bad for resale. So if you're out there running, say, 20 term charters, with term charters I mean by a week at a time or days at a time, term charters a year, you're putting a lot of hours, a lot of stress, a lot of use on the boat. So it's not as down the road financially beneficial. Now you might cover all of your costs during that year, but your long-term effects of that aren't going to be very good.
Yeah, the maintenance just went up tenfold.
Exactly.
So give me an idea of what it costs to charter a boat like yours for a week.
You can be anywhere, and I help people with charters as well. You can be anywhere from $30,000 a week all the way up into 110 a week, 150 a week for 80 to 110 foot boat.
Right. And people think that's a lot of money, but it's not.
That's the small in the bucket, when it comes to chartering.
Right.
When you're getting into real charters, there's boats out there that are $500,000 a week or $1 million a week.
Right.
It just depends on how much money you want to spend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not spending that.
No.
So, that's a Tiger Woods kind of spend.
Yeah. But for $100,000 between you and 8 friends, you guys can have a great time.
Right.
Go do all beautiful 7 days in the Bahamas. You can do, you can do St. Martin. You can do the Med. Well, the Med's a little more expensive because they charge a 25% tax on top of everything.
Right.
So it gets a little more expensive over there, but a lot of fun.
All right, give me some stories. What's crazy? What goes on these boats? Give me something. Give me the inside stuff that nobody knows.
It's a bunch of people with a lot of money telling you what to do. I've been, nothing personal, but Kenny, this captain that we know, whatever, his complaint is that all the other captains call the people with the boat their owners. And he can't stand it because he says, they don't own me. They're not my owners. So it's not stories as much. These people come on and you have to, they spent all this money, $1 million a year to upkeep the boat. Yeah. You have to produce.
Right.
Well, it's about fun, right? So what we do as a captain, I need to get to know the owner, right? I need to know what he likes, what he doesn't like, what foods he likes. I need to know all these things, right? It's basically the same thing as a charter, right? Because on a charter, we have a preference sheet. We get to know what the guests want to do and what he's into. So we're just trying to make that experience for him pleasurable, right? And doing the things that he wants to do. So if he wants to go jet skiing and he really enjoys that, great. If he wants to go scuba diving and he enjoys that, we have all that stuff set up for him. Fishing or whatever, If he just likes sitting on the beach, okay, cool. We're going to pull up to a really nice beach, secluded, nobody there. We're going to set the beach towels up with the umbrellas and, have the drinks and cocktails and everything set up just the way he likes it. And he's going to have an amazing time. Yeah. It's all about the experience, right? So, that's what we try to strive for is giving the guest or, either the charter client or the owner or whoever the experience that they've wanted their whole lives and that they're looking for, So that's what we try to do.
And what charter went south for you? Give me a good one.
Oh my gosh! So I've run all kinds of charters. I've run the term charters, and I've run a lot of day trips in Miami. I've done the craziness in Miami. Yeah. Those by far are just the wildest things that happen. I've ran during COVID. I picked up a boat during COVID that we did 170 day trips.
Wow.
And 10 term charters in a year.
Wow.
Yeah. So. I've seen it all, when it comes to that kind of stuff. People just going buck wild on the day trips. Yeah. And then, the term charters for me seem a lot more calm and, just like family stuff and stuff like that. You get, when they closed the clubs down in Miami during COVID, the only thing you could go on was a boat. So my yacht turned into a club. And, we had guy throw $5,000 worth of ones in the center of the boat, all kinds of stuff, yeah.
You ever have to turn a boat around? Say, hey, I can't captain you guys. You guys are just out of control. And
yeah. That's so. I have a zero tolerance policy when it comes to drugs on the boat.
Yeah.
And if I catch you with drugs on the boat, that's the end of it. It's done.
You just turn around.
Yeah, just turn it right back to the dock.
No refund either.
No. You sign a paper saying that if you bring any of that kind of contraband on the boat, you lose your rights to any kind of
Coast Guard law.
It's in the contract, so yes. But Coast Guard, if I get caught with drugs on the boat, it's my license.
Right.
You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with the client. It has to do with me.
The zero tolerance law.
Yeah,
because I actually have the sticker on my boat or whatever. So if the Coast Guard comes on the boat, even though you're a captain and it's the guests, does that still apply? I
can still be held liable for that.
Okay. What about like carnal behavior? So they take their clothes off and they run around the boat.
Of course they do.
Yeah,
that's why they're on the boat.
yeah. Hear no evil, see no evil when it comes to that.
I'm not going to spend $30,000 to rent a boat. The clothes are coming off. Let's go. You're not even getting on the boat with clothes. Let's go.
I don't know if I want to see you with your clothes off running around my boat.
Not me.
What about the guys hitting on your stews though?
We keep it professional. Yeah. This kind of stuff happens. The stews know how to politely just say, "Hey, thank you very much. It's very nice." But this is my job. Okay. That's another thing I don't allow. I don't allow fraternization between the crew and guests. Yeah, that's just not. Yeah. You're not allowed. If I catch you going on dates with one of our clients afterwards, then you're obviously off the boat.
Right. Yeah, but somebody like Christy Brinkley's on the boat and she's flirting with you. You have that.
Well, the captain has different rules.
Just like government. No. I'm on the top. It's just the way it goes, man.
This is a dictatorship, not
it's like trading, whatever I want to do.
So you're El Presidente and you can do what you want.
Yeah. No.
El Capitan. El Capitan.
But there's lines we don't cross. Like you just don't do that. We don't fraternize that way. But yeah. But I am the captain.
Now, I do know this. The captain's the law out there, right? Mm-hmm. So you ever have to lock somebody in?
No, but I've been waiting.
Yeah. Well, Glenn wants a charter, so that'll be your first lock.
We'll zip tie him in the engine room.
Good, very good. All right, a lot of good fun here. So, personal charter. How do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, I have an email and a phone number you can call.
All right. Do you want to give that out?
Sure. Redlandmarine at gmail.com, REDLAND Marine, MARINE at gmail.com. And my phone number is 305-397-6423.
Cool. So anybody wants a charter and you have the millions, call me first and then I'll call him.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
But I get a fee.
Yeah.
So all right, we're gonna go and talk to some callers. I see the phone lines are starting to light up. So we're gonna get to that. We'll get some calls on the horn, and we'll start to talk. So Glenn, do you charter your boat or no?
No, I can't captain. No, but not for nothing. I've been a mechanic since '74. I've owned boats since 1970. I've been on the water my entire life. I'm still not a kid. Just because you want to be a captain doesn't mean you can drive a boat.
All right, we're going to take a call. Hold on. Hi, welcome to Nauti Buoys Boat Show. Who am I speaking with and who's the call for?
You're speaking with Corey, and the call is for Gary.
Gary. We don't have a Gary. You mean Greg?
I mean, Greg. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, let's get that straight.
I apologize.
Yeah, no problem. No problem at all. So, hey, listen, I've been called a lot of things, so Gary's the nicest one. All right. Corey, what is your question?
I am considering buying a boat. And
First mistake.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
And I've been considering two different brands in Boston Whaler and Contender.
Yep.
And there's pluses and minuses to both, and just wanted to see what your opinion is.
So both very, very well built boats. Contenders right here in Florida. You can go visit the factories if you call and make a tour. Actually, Kenny Ponteri, he's the vice president of production. He's a good friend of mine. So yeah, Contender builds a great boat. There's no doubt about it. And Boston Whaler builds a great boat too. So it's all about utility, right? So what are you going to do with this boat? Where are you going to go? Do you need a head on the boat? Do you not need a head on the boat? Are you fishing? Are you diving? Are you going to the Bahamas? I assume you're in South Florida.
Close. I'm in Central.
Okay. All right. So I assume you're gonna want to do ocean, right? Blue water?
Yes.
Okay. And how big of a boat were you thinking about getting?
Well, ideally, I think 25 foot would be ideal, but I have to look at towing capacity too for my vehicle.
Okay, so you're going to tow the boat. So 25 foot, you're going to pick your days in the ocean, right? You're not going out in the slop. You're not going out in the chop. You're gonna really pick your days. You're gonna watch the weather. But still, they both make a great boat. My suggestion to you is this: go to the boats. Look at them, feel them, hatches, shocks, everything on that boat. Make sure you see quality. Make sure you see good things. And if you can, take a ride on a boat. Say to the broker or wherever you're buying the boat, say, hey, listen, I want to go for a ride. And you don't want to go for a ride on a nice, calm day. You want to go in the slop, right? So you can really see what those hulls do. You kind of pick two boats that have good, they have good all around kind of performance. Contender ride's really great. Boston Whale is a good boat. So my suggestion to you is definitely go check them out, feel them, touch them, get in them. Make sure it's good for you and your family. Make sure it does everything you want it to do, speeds, things like that. And ride on them and make sure you compare apples to apples, same kind of days, and you'll figure out real quick which kind of boat you want. I'm here to help, so you're in Central Florida. I'm a marine surveyor. If you need any questions answered, please give me a call. Same number, 772-773-2600, and I'll definitely answer the call, and I'll try to help you out and guide you the right way.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, Corey?
All right.
Hey,
I appreciate it.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
You got it.
Uh-huh.
Bye.
Right.
So, he picked two boats that,
Yeah. There's two boats on two different ends of the spectrum,
Right.
Contender's better, for me, I would say better fishing boat.
Yeah.
Blue water boat for sure, I think. Where when you get into the Boston Whaler, it's more of a family-oriented boat. If you got kids and stuff like that, and you want a little cabin and stuff like that.
Yeah. So he's got to really know what utility. When I say utility, I mean he's got to know what he's using this boat.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to narrow that down, pretty good. Just and get an idea.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people out there. They go out and they buy these big sport fish boats, and they sit at the dock and they barbecue. It's like, what's your utility? You could.
Yeah, well, it's the same guy that buys a Rolls Royce, and
right. So you gotta really know what you're using these boats for, and it's the same in yachting too, right?
Yeah.
So an owner may say, hey, I want the fastest one out there, or I want I don't care about speed, I just want the most comfortable boat,
right?
Or the biggest boat, or the biggest interior room, or So it's all over the spectrum.
Yeah, yeah. There's something to fit every niche that you want.
If you want the shallows, you want an outboard.
Right. Yeah.
Like that's a really good point, by the way. Outboards versus IOs versus inboards. I mean, performance difference, maintenance difference.
Well, down here, what are you kidding? Up north, it was all deep. Down, I got a 3-foot keel, and I'm trying to get her.
Yeah. Down here, the draft is a big deal. We have a lot of Italians and Italian boats and med boats. They build with a 6.5, 7 foot draft, and 80, 90 foot boat, and it's challenging getting through the Bahamas. Especially the Exumas and stuff like that. There's not very much deep water. Go ahead.
So the captain said that there was a boat that was available, but it was jets. And I was like, I don't want it. He goes, no, it's jets. So he goes, oh, they're a pain. He says, if you have a big boat with jets, you really need an Italian captain because they're good at it. Is that true because that all Italy uses, or is he just talking
There's
bullshit?
a lot of jet boats in Italy, but, I've run jets too. We all...
No, but he just said he didn't want it. He didn't feel secure with it.
I don't think it's the captain. You need a plumber.
What is your view on jet boats?
I like jet
the big
boats.
ones. I mean,
Yeah, they're cool. They run well. They draft shallow.
Docking and everything.
Docking's normal. They're a little slipperier than a conventional drive boat as far as they slide around a little bit.
Because that guy hit that pole, that video, whatever, that was like a 90-something, whatever. He was coming up to a bridge, and there was like a pole before when he kind of lost it, and the boat smacked into it. It was one of the videos lately, because he said, oh, that was a jet boat.
Are you talking about the one that T-boned into Hollover Bridge?
Not the bridge. There was a piling away from the bridge, and he hit it.
Hey, we got a call, guys, so let me grab this. Hi, welcome to Nauti Buoys Boat Show. Who am I speaking with, and who's your question for?
Hi, my name is Joe. My question is a mechanical question for Glenn.
Oh, well, Captain Happy, it's all you.
Hey.
Okay, so I have a 29 Sea Ray with twin Merc cruises and Bravo 2 drives. I launched the boat in, and one drive will not go down. It will go up, and it'll partially go down and just stop. Now, I proceeded to just go from the ramp to my slip, and when I put it in gear and started on the way forward, it went down. Parked back in the slip, brought it up, and it wouldn't go down again.
But you put it in gear and you hold the down button, it went down, correct?
When I was on the way.
Right. So it's probably going to be a stuck trim cylinder. That's a good question, by the way. So the trim cylinders, when they sit over the winter, they can seize up. So you probably have a stuck trim cylinder. So with the salt getting in, with the water getting in there, trying to dissolve the salt, it might get better and better. But the only way you're really going to be able to fix it is when you take the boat back out, you disconnect the aft tilt pin, run them up, and then only one will come down because the cylinders will always come out. It's like 3,200 PSI up, but it's only like 100 down. So if a cylinder gets tight, it can't pull the drive back down.
So if I disconnected one or two of the cylinders and would I notice one of them not going down?
Correct. If you take the aft tilt pin out,
right,
then the cylinders will be free. You run them up, you go to run them down, one won't come back in. It won't have the power to bring it in.
Okay. Well, thanks for your answer, and hopefully we can get underway again soon.
Okay. Have a good day.
All right. Yeah, thanks, Joe. Thanks for the call. And make sure you listen to the show, subscribe, and follow. I really appreciate it.
Will do. Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
All right. So we got another call coming in. Let's take this one. Hi. Welcome to Nauti Buoys Boat Show. Who am I speaking with, and who's your call for?
How's it going, man? My
Good.
name is Spencer. I'm calling to either get some insight from either you or your guest that you have on. I have a kind of specific question that I want to see if you guys could answer for me.
I think Captain Sebastian is the guy. So
Yes,
ask
sir.
away.
All right. Hypothetically, say you knew somebody who may or not be able to see colors fully, aka colorblind, and they wanted to be a captain, but Coast Guard regulations don't allow you to if you have any visual restriction. What would you say to that person, or what would you suggest that they do?
You can go a couple different routes. Captain way isn't the only route that you can go. There's also an engineering route. There's off the deck, you can always go engineering and work in the engine room. And engineers, chief engineers on big yachts, they make about the same money as captains do. So that might be a good route for you to pursue if those are your limitations.
Okay. And if someone wanted to do engineering, What is if they've never done it before, because I have no experience engineering, what would you say to somebody who wants to break into that? How do you even start doing that?
Well, you can always start on deck, right? So you get on deck and you can get in. Oh, we lost him.
We lost him. All right. Well, we lost him. But finish the answer.
You can always get in on deck and then work with the captain and learn the engineering side of the boat, because you can get on a smaller boat and it's usually the captain and the deckhand or the mate, going through and kind of figuring out what the issues are and stuff like that. When you get on a bigger, here he is again.
It can always be a mate.
Hey, welcome to Nauti Buoys. Am I talking to the same guy?
Yeah, my call dropped.
Sorry.
The last thing I heard was you could get on deck if you have no engineering experience.
Yeah, so you can start out as a deckhand, right, and get on deck, and then even on a smaller boat, 80, 90 foot, work your way as a mate and a deckhand. And, most of the engineering is done with the captain on those kind of boats. We're diagnosing, we're figuring out, we're calling who needs to call. And then, you stay with those guys that when they come on the boat and they're fixing stuff, you kind of peep over their shoulder and get an eye on it. And then you want to go take your engineering classes, at a maritime professional school, and get your certifications. And then once you kind of got a good grasp on it, you can go in as a third or second engineer on a bigger boat, 130, 140, and then kind of 160. They always have seconds. And then you learn from the chief. And then over time you get you keep upgrading your engineering with sea time, your certs. And then you become chief over a couple of 5 years.
Good, yeah, good advice. I would also add to that go take all the ABYC courses.
Yeah,
because you got to be certified. You got to know the standards. You got to know all that. So ABYC is a great place to start.
Yes, that's true.
All right,
Okay.
we answered that.
Yeah, that helps me out.
All right, good. Thanks for the call, and please like, follow, and subscribe.
Appreciate that, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye. All right, good. I think we're getting towards the end of the show. Glenn looks tired. He's falling asleep, so we're gonna keep going here. So, what I think is we have to do the tips, right, Glenn? Mm-hmm. All right, my tip. Ready? So I'm gonna go back to the boat buying. When you're buying a boat, try to do sea trials on different models, different boats. You're not going to really know the boat until you get on it and you ride them, So definitely do sea trials. Look at how they're built. Look at the hardware that's on the boat. You're spending a lot of money on these boats. So do that. And don't do it on a calm day. Any boat can perform really well on a calm day, right, Sebastian?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So go out there in the slop, 2-3 footers, get on that boat, go, and see how it handles it. Is it wet? Is it dry? Does it ride good? Does it pound? And that's how you're going to know whether you love that boat. And because you're stuck with it. Once you buy it, you're stuck with
That's
it.
it.
So that's what I would say to do. Glenn, any tips?
Yeah. The two biggest calls I get for service that I can fix on the phone is the boat won't start because they don't have the lanyard on, which I always ask, and the boat won't crank because it's not neutral.
Oh.
You got to move the shift lever. And then he reminded me of one today. And if you're going to work on your toilet system in the boat, you need a towel and cologne. I don't know about the rest of you. You take the cologne, you spray it on the towel, you wrap the towel around your head, and you just go to work.
What about your tips, Sebastian?
Like we've been talking about getting into the industry, and the caller was talking about what he can do. Getting your foot in the door and working hard is probably the name of the game. And having a good attitude and just doing whatever they tell you to do, and just learning, and just grind out. And it takes a long time to get to your license, where you have enough sea time to get to your license. But once you do, it's a very rewarding career.
You got to go through the grunt stuff.
Yeah, you got to pay your dues. There's no way around it.
Yeah, no.
You got to learn it. There's just so much to learn. You have no idea how much there is to,
Yeah, and conditions are always changing. I've done commercial as well. I ran in the oil field and did commercial in the oil field, bringing supplies back and forth to the oil platforms. And we've been out there in 20-foot seas and all kinds of stuff. And we had a crane, 80 feet over your head, picking up loads and pulling them off the deck, and you're holding the boat as a captain.
Wow.
So there's a lot of different ways that you can go out and gain experience and different avenues. And it's not just yachting. There's a lot of other ways to make make a maritime career.
Get out on the water. Just get out on.
Just get out there. Go have fun.
It's all types of boats.
Gotcha. All right. So for marine survey information, again, call this number 772-773-2600 or go to our website, pinnaclemarinegroup.com. We do a marine surveying here in South Florida. And I'd like to thank our producer, Micah Murley, and our production assistant, Samantha, as usual. And please hit the subscribe, follow, or like button. And please tune in next Thursday and every Thursday for the Nauti Buoys Boat Show. Every week we'll have exciting guests and informative news. May you have fair winds, following seas, and tight lines. God bless.